Hello, YouTube faithful and Nerd Nation. This is Lucius Prime coming at you for the first time in 2021 with the first Transformers toy review of the year. This figure came in just in time with a dull start of the year. Let me take you back in time to a time before COVID and modern day politics, to a time of hair metal and gull-winged doors, to a time of hoverboards and 8-bit video games. Join me on a visit to the past when we still wanted to go back to the future. Back to the 80s, where Transformers and Tron reigned supreme. As you can tell from the intro to this video, it is about the 1.21 gigawatt hero, Gigawatt. So, without any more ado, let's get to the review. And here we have the Transformers Back to the Future crossover, Gigawatt. Great Scott! It's a time-traveling DeLorean! I mean, look at this thing. This thing is just so amazing. It's got all kinds of molded and sculpted and painted detail to it. I can't even begin to describe how amazing this figure is. Look at all the details for it. I mean, first of all, the license plate. Let me go ahead and get my camera to focus. As you can see, it says California, out of time. I mean, they paid attention to detail like that. I mean, granted, they did the same thing with Ectotron and the Ecto-1, where the license plate said Ecto-1. One of the most important details of all, I mean, a lot of Transformers do feature a feature like this, but not like this. Gull wing doors that actually open up. And what I was getting at is a lot of Transformers do actually have, doors that open and everything like that. But the fact that they thought to include this on this figure, the doors, especially in the movie for this vehicle, are so iconic. They took the time to actually pay attention to that. Sorry, dropped a piece there, so I had to retrieve it real quick. But, not a bad thing, because it kind of just brings me into the next point about this. This thing, for all intents and purposes, is not just a regular Transformer. It's not even a triple changer. It's actually a multi-changer. Because, as you can see, without the Mr. Fusion reactor right there, with just the lightning rod, it is just the DeLorean from the first movie. Which, yes, I know they put the Mr. Fusion on it at the end of the first movie. Spoiler alerts for those of you who haven't seen the movie. Then you take the lightning rod off, fold the wheels down, and let's get the Mr. Fusion back on there real quick. Because now, where they're going, they don't need roads. They're ready to, now they have the flying DeLorean. I mean, really, that's an amazing detail. Anywho, in terms of kibble, this figure really doesn't have any visible kibble at all. I mean, much like any other Transformer, if you look on the bottom here, I mean, yeah, you see his face, and you can you're not entirely sure, but you can kind of tell that these are his arms. But you see the flux capacitor sitting right there. And love the weapon storage for this thing. The fusion cannon is actually stored right underneath the grill, which amazingly does not affect this figure's ability to roll, as it really shouldn't. But that's really all I have to say about the vehicle mode on this thing. But just as a comparison, This figure happens to be a hard remold of Transformers War for Cybertron. Can't remember if it's Earthrise or Siege Sideswipe. And here I have Sideswipe for size comparison. I mean, Gigawatt's a little bit longer and a bit of a different shape, but still, they're essentially the same figure. And well, definitely the weapon storage on this one's way better than this one, in my opinion. But hey, it's whatever your preference. Which I still love this figure, by the way. But that's really all I have to say about the vehicle mode on this. So let's go ahead and get them transformed, shall we?
Way down in Louisiana, down in New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good, who never ever learned to read or write so well. He could play a guitar just like he's ringing a bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go.
George, where'd you let out big? Nice going.
George, you ever think of running for class president?
Johnny be good. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go, go. Go, Johnny, go.
And here we have Gigawatt in his robot mode. As stated earlier, he's actually a hard remold of the Transformers War for Cybertron Sideswipe. As you can tell, there's not really too much different in the way they look in robot mode, other than the fact that Gigawatt has a square chest with the flux capacitor in his chest, which is definitely one of the details I kind of wanted to point out there because it's the flux capacitor. Anyways, a little bit closer look, if my camera will focus. There we go. You can see that on his chest it has 3 major dates that actually made it into the movie itself, which would be October 26th, 1985 at 9, October 21st, 2015 at 7:28. God, I wish I could go back to October 21st of 2015. That was way better than things are now. And November 12th, 1955. You will recognize these as the times that they went to during both the first and second movie. But anyways, as you can see for his weapon right there, it's got the Mr. Fusion on as a weapon. So I guess that just kind of makes it into a little miniature fusion cannon, and my camera still doesn't really want to, there we go, it didn't want to adjust that well. And not sure why, but the instructions actually have you put the hook that grabs the lightning on his shoulder like that. And to me, it just looks almost like a fishing rod. Well, the lightning rod. Anyways, unlike the sideswipe figure, the doors actually stay open on the back as opposed to folding in right here, like how it did on sideswipe. But I'm actually okay with that. There's very minimal kibble on him in general. I mean, what kibble there really is, I don't mind, because it's the kibble of the gullwing doors and the kibble for the back of the car, which to me, adds a nice little effect to it. I mean, there's also a difference in the face itself. I mean, it's still Sideswipe's face, but he's got like goggles on like a scientist. Well, anyways, that's really all I have to say about this figure. And there we had the Transformers Back to the Future crossover Gigawatt. All in all, as you heard throughout my entire video review for this, I absolutely love this figure. I mean, there's really nothing about it that I dislike. being a big fan of both Transformers and Back to the Future, and well, mostly just stuff from the '80s, this really hit home for me. And I wasn't kidding. I don't know about for you folks, and I really hope it's the opposite for me, the opposite of me, excuse me. 2021 has started off kind of dull and droll and humdrum and all of that. I mean, it's not exactly been the best, but it hasn't been the worst. And this figure right here just kind of really improved the beginning of my year. I also just started a new job, and it's already going really well over there so far. So let's just hopefully this is a sign of things to come. Hopefully that 2021 will be an amazing year, not just for me, but hopefully for all of you and all of the entire world. Anyways, as always, I want to thank you all for joining me on this. And until my next video, until next time, until all are one.